Let's review the recent enhancements and modifications that have been made to the inventory tool. So up here in our dark blue banner, you will see supplemental information. This was previously known as the Bill of Rights. So that wording has changed to more reflect what is being displayed on this page. All of this still remains the same. We have our product, our contract source, contract expiration, any supporting documentation, which we do have down below. And you also have the vendor public privacy policy. You would copy this link and paste it to your district website for parents and staff to see what type of software is currently being used in the district. Another enhancement is that you have the ability to search for a particular piece of software to see if that is something that your district is using. As you can see, we have two things for Google, and then any supporting documentation that we have uploaded will display. Our vendor public privacy policy. If you do not want this to display on your supplemental information screen, you now have the ability to remove that. So you will go in your district settings. This is a new tab in this release. And you have two options here. We're going to look at this option first, our hide vendor public privacy policy column on the supplemental information page. So we just saw that that information was displaying, but we've decided as a district we do not want the information to display. You will check this off, save that. Now, when we go into our supplemental information, you will see that that public privacy policy column is no longer displaying. Everything else is still the same. Again, you see all of that supporting documentation that we have uploaded. So that is one of the changes in this new release. Another enhancement to version 3 of the inventory tool is the ability for the district to decide if they would like to display their name in this number of districts column for the software that they have. So in our district settings, we have list district name in product profile. It will default to not show your district name. So if you purchased Google, for example, there might be 400 districts that have added that to their inventory tool. If you do not want your name to display as one of those districts, then you will not need to do anything. That would automatically default to not display your name. But if you would like to have your name displayed for the software that you have added to your inventory tool for other districts to know, you're going to go into that district settings tab. We're going to check that off to say, yes, let's display the district name in the product profile. We're going to save that and let's go see what that looks like. So we're going to go back to the main landing page of our district inventory. Again, this is all the products that aren't currently in the inventory tool. It's organized over here on the left-hand side, A through Z or 0 through 9, based on the name of the product. And let's search for Google. So Google will now display. Another thing that you will notice is that there's a new column over here that says Manage. And you can see that we have an Edit tab. This lets me know as a district admin, because there could be multiple admins for your district, that this piece of software is currently added to my inventory tool. So let's click on, I'm going to go to the next page for Google. And we're going to look at Google G Suite for Education. Again, I know that this has been added to my district's inventory because I have that Edit tab. And you can see there are 252 districts that have added Google G Suite for Education to their inventory. Let's click on Google G Suite for Education. Here's our number of districts. We now have a caret next to that. Before it just displayed number 252 or whatever the number was for that product. If I click on that caret down, now you can see these are the districts that are choosing to display their name. So we have Franklin, Lancaster, and then our district, Narek CRB. There are 249 unlisted districts. So as a district, if you don't want to display your name, you don't want others to know what piece of software that you have added to your inventory tool, you would be here in the 249. And this is an all or nothing. So if you choose yes, all the pieces of software that you've added to your inventory tool, when you click on that name or another district was to click on it, they would see your name listed. Again, if you do not want to display your name, you're going to go into your district settings tab. We're going to uncheck that. And now our district name will not display. Let's go look at that when we look at that piece of software, or if another district was to look at that piece of software. So there's Google G Suite for Education, and we can see our name is no longer displaying there. As I mentioned before, we have this new Edit tab. Let's go back to Google. So this way, if specifically too, if there are multiple district admins for your district, as you're adding new pieces of software, you might not know that somebody has already added that software to your inventory tool. So we know that Google Chrome management licenses have been added to our district inventory, and I can go right here to edit, and I can make any specific changes that I would like to that piece of software that's in my inventory tool. So I can update anything here, or if I have a document that I would like to update, I can do that right there. Also, when you are going to upload documents, we do now have the new tab for supplemental information that was recently added in this release. Go back to our main screen. Some of the other enhancements in our district inventory. When we look at that tab, that's all the software that we have entered into the system. You will now see that right here, you can decide if you would like to show that piece of software in your the supplemental information for that. You can choose it right here, yes or no, to display. You don't actually have to go back into that product like you did in the past. And then also we have this tab here for documentation. And let's look at Google because we do know that we have uploaded something for that. So here's our Google G Suite for Education. I'm going to click on that tab there and I can see what type of documents I have already uploaded for that piece of software. And I can choose which document I would or would not like to display. So maybe I'm displaying Google G Suite for Education on my supplemental page, but I'm going to choose not to display my G Suite for Education extension because that was last year's and I have new information to display this year. You can choose to do that here without actually having to go into that piece of software like you did before.